Hey everybody, attorney Sean Smallwood here. Just wanted to make a quick video for you guys on how much should I spend on an Orlando divorce attorney. Okay, before I get started, real quick disclaimer, nothing in this video is meant to constitute legal advice or to initiate an attorney-client relationship. No video is a substitute for having an experienced attorney offering on-site advice based on your specific set of circumstances. Okay, now that I got that out of the way. How much should I spend on an Orlando divorce attorney? One of the most common questions that we get in our office is about our fees. One of the most commonly searched search queries on Google is prices of divorce attorneys. There's tons of articles online about the average cost of a divorce. I think the most recent documentation that I've read, the most recent studies, it's for the whole United States. I think the average cost of a divorce they estimated was somewhere between $7,500 and like $10,000. And I know that sounds like a lot, but I don't think that takes into consideration everything. You've got different types of divorces. You've got simple divorce with no property, no kids, everyone's agreeing on everything. You've got an uncontested divorce where maybe there is property, maybe there are kids, but everybody's agreeing on everything. And then you've got your conflict-filled, high conflict divorces where nobody can agree on everything. Everybody hates each other's guts. Those are really rough. Obviously, those are going to cost more. I think really kind of getting into how much should I spend on a divorce attorney, you got to look first at what you think your case is going to look like. Are you and the other party in full agreement on most of the issues? Are you guys in agreement on none of the issues? I think that's going to have a big impact. If your case is going to involve custody issues, alimony, there's two pieces of real estate, there's a marital business. Those are things that are, gonna, I hate to do the whole, cha-ching, 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 but those are big ticket legal issues in the divorce case that if you guys can't reach agreements on things like the valuation, whether they're marital property, how they're going to be divided, if you guys can't agree on those things and those things have to be litigated by the attorneys, that's going to run up a lot of fees. So here's the way fees work for most firms, okay? Most firms, the attorney's going to have an hourly rate. The paralegal is going to have an hourly rate. The associate attorney might have a different hourly rate. But every person who's doing substantive legal work on the case is going to have some kind of hourly rate attached to their time. They're going to usually keep track of the time that they spend on your file. And then at the end of the month or every 3 months or however often the firm bills, you're going to get an invoice that kind of adds all of these things up. Attorney Jim spent 5 minutes on this motion. Paralegal Sarah spent 13 minutes on that pleading, and it all adds up to a total amount at the end. Now, what you really got to watch out for is the fact that there's really in family law, here in Florida, there's two main types of fees that you're going to see get quoted to you by a divorce or family lawyer. Okay, so it's going to really be, you can group them into one of two buckets, either refundable or non-refundable. So with non-refundable, I'm going to say that in my experience, that's by far the industry standard. So the vast majority of family and divorce lawyers that you consult with are going to quote you a non-refundable retainer. And usually it's going to look like, it might be somewhere between $2,500 and $10,000. It's going to be some, lump sum amount, depending on the lawyer. There's some lawyers out there. I know of two lawyers in town. They charge a $1,000 consultation fee. A $1,000 consultation fee. That's just, I think that's amazing for them. I don't charge a $1,000 consultation fee. I think that's a lot, but I think that also tells you what to expect in terms of what their fees are going to look like. You've got lots of lawyers who do free consultations. Now, I would venture a guess that free consultations probably don't really provide that much substantive information. But it just kind of runs the gamut. There's lawyers of all experience levels. There's lawyers that mainly represent the mega rich, and there's lawyers who really kind of represent anybody. And so the fees that you're going to see them charging are going to vary based on a lot of different factors. But at the end of the day, the lawyer's going to have an hourly rate for their time, and they're going to want you to pay some sort of a retainer. Now, as I was saying a minute ago, the most common retainer type is the non-refundable retainer. That's one where you're going to sign an agreement to have this firm represent you, and you'll see it because it's going to be in bold, highlighted wording, probably in all caps, in their fee agreement that says this is a non-refundable engagement fee. It's earned upon receipt. So what that means is that if there are funds that are left over in the end of the case, that you might hear that, hey, sorry, that's non-refundable. And I've heard those stories all the time. Now, is it truly non-refundable? There's some ethical rules with the Florida bar that say that you can go through a grievance process and get those monies back. And I think you probably could, but it sounds an awful lot like pulling teeth to me. So it can be difficult. And at the end of the day, we don't do it that way. Our fee structure is the refundable option. Ours is referred to as a positive trust balance structure, or some people would call it an evergreen structure, depending on kind of what your background is. But basically, our clients commit that at all times throughout their case, they're going to maintain a smaller refundable deposit on account with us, and they will just replenish that each month based on however much work the firm did that came out of that. And we send out a statement every single month around the last day of the month so everybody knows where their money's at all times. We think that's very important. But the big thing is, when the case is over, whatever money's left over that the firm has not done substantive work to keep, it gets refunded back to the client in the end. And I feel like personally that's the fair way to do it. Now, why do most firms do non-refundable retainers? That's a no-brainer. It's because it's non-refundable. There's a lot of protection there for them. And I can't knock them for doing that. Personally, though, I believe that these non-refundable retainers kind of disincentivize the firms from sending out monthly statements. And I find that it causes a lot of stress for the clients, because what I've seen, and not every firm does this, but what I've seen in the past, well, actually on a very regular basis, is firms who will maybe say, hey, for $2,500, we'll take your case to mediation, right? And then the client is a week before mediation. They haven't got a billing statement throughout the entire case. And all of a sudden, a week before mediation, they get this billing statement sent to them as a high priority from the firm saying, hey, your $2,500's been exhausted. You're actually negative $1,000. So we're going to need that $1,000 that you're negative plus another $1,000 to cover mediation. And if we don't have it within the next few days, we're going to withdraw from the case. We're not going to show up to mediation. I see that happen a lot. And I feel like the non-refundable fee structure kind of creates that sort of environment. It's kind of like this, hey, we got paid, so we're going to forget about this and just do the work. And then when some substantive hearing or court appointment is coming up, that's when the firm will take a look at the billing and realize, uh-oh, we need to get more money. And usually it's this rushed process. And it really makes it hard for the clients to budget for that sort of thing versus something where they're replenishing a smaller amount on a monthly basis. That makes it a lot easier, which is the way we do it. It makes it a lot easier for people to kind of budget for that sort of thing. Okay, so I'm not going to turn this into a rambling rant any more than it already is. I just have a lot to say on the topic. But is one of these ways better than the other? Is one of these ways right and one approach wrong? I don't think so. There are tons of firms who do non-refundable fee structures, and they do them the right way, and they do them responsibly. And so it can work that way. But you just want to watch out. You want to make sure that you want to make sure that there's some sort of process in place at the firm where you're going to get a regular statement from them so that you regularly know the status of how much money you have on account with them versus how much they've already earned. Because without any sort of process in place to provide regular statements, I think monthly is probably the best way. Without that, you're putting yourself at risk to get a big surprise right before a hearing. And just watch out for that. Anyway, if you have other questions on this, let us know in the comments below. If you have any other topics that you'd like to see videos on, let us know in the comments below. Feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so you can be alerted when we post other informative videos like this. If you're in Florida and you're going through a divorce situation, give us a call. We consult with people all over the state all the time. We love helping people out. We love helping people think strategically and tactically in ways that can take an ugly case and kind of turn it in a direction where it can become an uncontested matter, or at least resolve as many issues as possible on an uncontested basis. If there's kids involved, that's always what's best for the kids, if it's possible to reach that uncontested agreement. Anyways, thank you for your time, and we'll see you in the next video.